You're not built to race. You're built to dust crops. Do you know what will happen if you push it too far? Wing flutter, nettle fatigue, turbine failure. Oh no, I'm going down! Kaboom!
Well, Jess, firstly, huge congratulations on landing a part in a Disney animation. Can you tell us how that sort of first came about for you?
I got a phone call one day from my representation, and they said, look, would you be interested in doing the voice for a Disney animation? I just went, yes, straight away. Like, I didn't even ask what it was, which I never do. I'm usually really like, what is it? I want to know the script. I want to know everything about it. I want to know who's involved. The second they said, would you like to be involved in a Disney animation? My answer was yes, instantly, because I grew up a huge fan of the Disney franchise. I've watched nearly every Disney movie I think that's ever been made. And it was a dream come true. I said yes and went into the studio, did the recording, and then now here it is on the big screen.
So can you set the scene? What can audiences expect from Planes?
Audiences can expect high-flying fun, adventure. It's the tale of Dusty, who's a crop duster, who's an unlikely underdog candidate in this high-flying race around the world. He really, really wants to win and is consistently told by many that he can't. He enters the competition, does the race around the world, and I don't want to spoil the end of it for you, but I think, you know, the most important thing is he really learns to believe in himself and learns to have faith in his own ability.
How much does a snowplow weigh?
I have no idea.
Enough to break the ice. I am El Chupacabra.
Ah, you're the snowplow, right?
Ah, you could say that, yes.
And I am the ice?
Yes.
Cold, frozen and lifeless?
No, it sounds better in Spanish.
As you mentioned, the film boasts some fantastic and diverse characters. Can you tell us about Relle?
Relle is an Australian plane with a uniquely Australian flavour. She's been repainted to be a Qantas plane. She's got the kangaroo. I think she's a small town girl who started out not unlike Dusty, you know, from a small town, and has worked really hard to get where she is. And her eye is always on the prize. You know, everyone always enters wanting to be the best and wanting to win, but she's a little bit sidetracked by a romance that pops up with El Chu, and ultimately she supports her fellow competitors. So she's kind as well, which I really like about her. She's driven, but she's kind.
How do you fly without a nose? How?
Strut Jetstream?
Wait, that old Corsair down at the end of the runway?
There are some really big name actors in this film.
Yeah.
Who can audiences expect to hear on screen?
Well, a huge variety of people. I know that Val Kilmer is one of the voices. John Cleese brings the English plane. Dan Cook is Dusty. He's like a really amazing comedian. His voice is phenomenal. What's amazing is that there are so many little characters in and throughout it. And
even Terry Hatcher for me was a surprise.
Yeah, there's little people that have done little voices in and throughout it, cameo appearances. And I think that's testament to the fact that everybody just really does love these sorts of films. Everybody wants to be involved.
I am El Chupacabra.
Ah, you're the snowplow, right?
Was it quite different doing an animation and being just in a recording booth?
Yeah, I mean, it is. You know, I'm used to working in a room with actors, but luckily I had all the actors on screen in front of me. And often when you shoot a feature film, you do like what they call ADR, which is additional dialogue recording. So if a microphone has a sort of fluff here or there, or a plane flies over the top of you while you're filming, you need to re-record the sound often. So I have done that sort of thing before. Which is also alone in a room, but I luckily had all the other characters and their voices there to bounce off, so it wasn't quite like having to go in and just create out of thin air. I could still respond to to the fabulous voice that they have for all the other characters.
Jess, how did you get in character to play Relle? What do you prep to do to become a plane?
You know, I basically thought about who she was. I had the Disney team in the recording room listening, and they would give me bits of direction as I was performing the lines. And I think you really have to think about the heart of who they are. When it's just your voice telling the story, you just have to think about putting the real heart and soul of everything into your voice. You can't be relying on any of your physical gestures.
The animation in this film is incredible. It's in 3D obviously as well. What can audiences expect from that?
Fast. I don't know. I think you need to hold on to your seats if you're a little bit wary of heights, just like Dusty. You might feel a little queasy at certain times, but I think the 3D element of it will just bring more adventure to it. You know, there's nothing like soaring up in the sky in real life in a plane and looking down and seeing, you know, the earth below you and the beautiful landscapes, and just to have that in 3D is quite a magical thing.
Agreed. Thank you so much for your time, Jessica.
Thank you.